Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Man, Antonelli here. So today, Major League Baseball, they offered their financial proposal to the Players Union. And so we're going to get into those details here in a second. Let's start with this. I came into this week, I woke up today feeling pretty good about baseball. I thought baseball was going to be happening this summer. And now, as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. I do not feel very good anymore after seeing what's starting to come out. Things are starting to leak here from the players' side, the union, and things are not looking very good. So let's get into the details and fill you guys in on exactly what happened. So the first thing is, this is a hugely important week. Jeff Passan from ESPN, he said it was the most consequential week in MLB history over the last quarter century, okay? So we're not messing around here. It's been a while since there's been no baseball, right? You have to go all the way back to the strike of 94, I think it was. And then in the 2000s, early 2000s, there was talks that there could be a strike, but nothing happened, and we had baseball. And so really, this is the first time in a really long time that there could possibly be no baseball, which is a scary, scary thought. Now, the union and the owners have kind of been going back and forth, right? We've been having these negotiations for quite a while now. And that's been great, right? We've had time to kind of go through things and go back and forth. We're at the time right now, well, there's not a lot of time. Like, we have to come together and make an agreement, because we can't just keep pushing off and pushing off and pushing off and saying, oh, we're going to come with another proposal and then another proposal, because players need to get prepared to play. Like, we need to have some type of spring training to get players ready, and then we need to get the season going, hopefully in July. And so if we get pushed back any further, there's no time to have a season. So a really, really important week right now. Okay, so let's get into this financial proposal. I have a couple of notes that I took right here from it. What we talked about prior, right? If you guys think back, there used to be this 50-50 revenue split that the owners proposed to the players and the players union, and that was kind of like axed very quickly. The union was like, yeah, this is a slap in the face, we're not doing this. This is basically like a salary cap. No. Okay, so that's now off the table. So then what happened today? So today, Major League Baseball and the owners proposed cutting the salaries of the highest paid players in baseball, with the lowest paid players taking a lesser cut. So it's basically going to work like a sliding scale. So it says sources said that the highest paid players under the proposal would receive perhaps less than 40% of their full salary. So again, this is all according to sources, but the way that I kind of understand it is that we're probably going to end up having about half a season, okay? So player salaries are already going to be reduced. About half. Okay, so let's say you're only making like $1 million. I say only, that's still a lot of money, but let's just say you're one of the lesser paid players in the league. Okay, so what I've seen is if you're making like $1 million or less, let's just say you make $1 million for this example in the regular season. Well, you're gonna be playing half a season this year, so you would make, instead of $1 million, you're gonna make about $500,000. Okay, and like those lesser players are gonna make right around there. But if you're getting paid like lots of money, right, the higher paid players, they're not going to make that 50%. It's going to be less than that. So here it's saying what? Less than 40%. Nobody knows the exact number yet, but just know it works on a sliding scale, and basically, again, the players that are making tons of money are going to make less on a percentage basis compared to the players that don't make a whole lot of money. Now, the other thing in there, it said that the players will get a bump in pay if there is a postseason that is played until the conclusion, so all the way through the playoffs, since the MLB receives its largest share of national TV money from the playoffs. Okay, so what I've heard so far from this, it sounds like the Players Union is not very happy with this again, right? So it feels like we're right back to square one. The Players Union is bringing this to the players, and they're going to discuss it, but original or reports that just came out do not look very, very promising, okay? Another thing that kind of makes things not seem so good is that the union also indicated today that the sides had sizable differences on health and safety measures, okay? So really there's two things we're looking at here. We talked about this in the other video. One is how the players are going to get paid, and two is how are we going to promote safety and make sure that the players are safe, right? And so it doesn't sound like they're getting very close on either of these, which again is not good. You would think after all this time they would be able to start to get a little bit closer, and it doesn't seem like that's happening. Okay, so now what happens next? So the union is going to take this to the players. They're not going to be, it doesn't sound like there's any way that they're going to accept this. But hopefully they're able to talk and come up with some type of counter proposal that will get the owners to hopefully say yes. And my thought here is if they can't figure out a way to get this season to get going, especially if money is the reason, then this is going to be a stain on baseball. And I don't know if a lot of fans are going to be able to forgive the sport of baseball, and especially the players, if they're not able to put if the players and the union, or if the players and the owners are not able to put their differences aside and figure out a way to play baseball. And I'm already seeing it today. I've gone on Twitter and I've kind of gone through, and you can already see a lot of people saying cancel the season, the players are selfish, they're greedy, they're money hungry, they're overpaid, right? I keep seeing this over and over again. In my opinion with this typically happens anytime anything comes out with negotiations between the Players Association and the owners. The public always seems to take the owner's side. I would say in general, just in sports. Sports, I've talked about this before, in my opinion, sports is a business. And when you play, I realized this, and again, I didn't make very much money in baseball compared to what most of the players make. But I did realize this when I played, that it is a business, right? Like, players get cut, released, they don't have jobs anymore. It is a business. And I know sometimes it's hard because you see someone making $30 million and you're like, just shut up and play, man. You're making $30 million and I'm making $25,000 or whatever. And I understand that. But there's always these negotiations that go on in every sport, right? The players, they want to get paid as much as possible. The owners want to give the players as least as possible, right? That's just the way the negotiations always go. They go back and forth until hopefully they come to an agreement. Typically they do. There have been strikes before, but usually they're able to figure out a way to make the players get what they feel is fair, and same with the owners. And essentially that's what's happening here. And I know a lot of this stuff is a lot of the things are getting leaked that's going on inside these meetings. They're getting leaked, and they're getting out into the public, and people are getting mad. And it feels like a lot of the things getting leaked are usually to make the players look bad. And it's interesting. Let me know in the comment section below. Why is it, right? So owners are billionaires, right? Owners make tons and tons and tons of money off of their teams. But I find it interesting that people always take the side of the owners. So it's always, I've never heard very many people ever say the owners are greedy. It's always the players are greedy. The players are selfish. The players should just play for nothing or play for barely anything. But I've never really heard the opposite. It very rarely does anyone say anything about the owners. And I'm not trying to take the players' side. I just find it interesting that this always, it always seems to happen when cases like this happen. So anyways, that's what we got. I don't feel very good about this. Like I said, I felt pretty confident that there was going to be baseball. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I hadn't heard anything in a while, and I just assumed things were getting better and we were going to play. But now it feels almost like we're back at square one, and we're running out of time. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know if you think there's going to be baseball or not, or any other points that you might have. Put that down there. Give the video a thumbs up. Share with all your friends. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon who help support the channel. We really appreciate it. And that's all we have. Hopefully next time I talk about this, there'll be better news. We'll talk to you later.